Now, we are going to continue with the model of cells, all right? And then the human body system, okay? Louise cannot have. Oh, okay, still cannot. So your PLD camera is spoiled, yeah? Oh, I see. You need to bring back to school. You know, there's the IT personnel, right? You can ask them to help you with it. Yeah. Okay, try to do that. Now, the human body system over here, okay, it shows the 11 system. Now, you probably only recall about 7, right not? Because you studied them in primary school. Okay, lower primary, you would have already studied very briefly all the different types like nervous system, skeletal system, muscular system, all this, right? So what are the ones that you are not familiar with yet? So take a look here. Nervous system, you know. Okay, this is the circulatory. They term it another way. When you go higher level, you use more chin words lah. So circulatory system, they call it the cardiovascular system. Respiratory system, then digestive, you are familiar also. Lymphatic system, I think not really. Reproductive, you did. Okay, then skeletal and then muscular. So total, you learn about 7 systems in primary school. So these are the newer ones that you will need to know. When will you learn this? We are not learning this now, okay? You just need to know which are the various body systems, what do they do, okay? In fact, they will not test you at this level. They won't test you on the lymphatic system or the integumentary system, okay, endocrine system, they don't, okay? But you still need to know the others like nervous system, circulatory, digestive, and so on. All right, so these are the 11 system that keeps our body functioning. So it's in the slides you can download, okay, or I can send you the picture as well. Okay, so organization of the body from the cell level to the tissue level to organ and then the body system, okay? So you must know, okay, roughly, for example, like the muscle cells, okay? Muscle cells come together to form the muscle tissue. This is something that everybody got to know. Then muscle tissue with other tissue, right, will form, you know, an organ. So my favorite is always to talk about the heart, okay? So you have the muscle tissue with blood tissue, right? Okay, and then it will form, you know, the heart organ. Then the heart actually will form, okay, the system, okay, or shall I say the organ system with many different types of the organs. All right, and then after that, next level, you will have to move up to the organism level. Okay, so just a very quick recap of what we have covered so far. Okay, so far. Now, you must know the parts of the typical cell. Okay, so before I even start on the question 1, right? So we must know what are the typical cells that we are studying. Typical cells that we study will be the typical animal cell, okay, and then the typical plant cell, right? So what's the meaning of typical? Typical is just like a model. It's just a standard that we will tell ourselves or we learn about. Then all the information from the typical model cell will be able to help us identify and differentiate the 2 types of cells, okay? Of course, we know not all the animal cell is going to look like an egg, you know, with the egg yolk in the center and then the egg white, that kind of structure. Okay, and not all plants will be actually looking like this rectangular kind of shape, right? Not. Okay, Zephyrin is here 1 minute. Okay, so this is just a very typical one, a general model that we study. We know that the plant cell, right, has the external layer called the cell wall. Then there's an inner layer called the cell membrane. All right. And then you have, let's say, the nucleus here, and then you can draw your vacuole, which is the large one. Then you have chloroplast here and there. Okay. And then you will have to label accordingly. Now, in primary school, your nucleus is just drawn like that, right? Okay, quite a significant size. But now you learn that inside the nucleus, there are thread-like structures. Okay, and these are important now. Okay, so in the animal cell, let me change another color. Okay, if you want to label the animal cell, this we label as the nucleus. Inside the nucleus, we have another structure. And then after that, okay, so this is nucleus, then there's another structure, then the outer layer here, what do we call it? You must know, right? And then what about this particular substance inside? Then, because you are in the secondary school, there are actually tiny little things here. You never label them before. Okay, in primary school, you only need to know nucleus, cytoplasm, and the cell membrane. But now, in secondary school, you have to know more. So can you tell me what are these? Okay, can you tell me what are these? All right. So the first one I'm pointing to is this one. Okay, what is actually this thing? Anyone? Just type into the chat, or you can also unmute yourself and tell me, no problem. If you type into the chat, it's good also. Very good. Okay, yes. So these are the vacuole. Okay, now, so these are the vacuole. All right. So it's different from the plant cell with a big part of it being occupied by the vacuole, right? In the animal cell, the vacuoles are numerous and they are very small. Okay, what else? How about this one? Okay, this outer layer, what do you call it? Hi, Nikki.
Miss Tay, sorry, sometimes you need to understand I can be me on a little bit late on Monday evenings because earlier, like 45 minutes ago, I just had another tuition, like a drum tuition. Then after that, I had to quickly eat my dinner, and then as I may be a little bit of slow in eating. And then earlier, I was rushing. That's why I think I can be a little bit late on the Monday.
Yeah, no problem. No problem, Nikki. We are still doing a quick recap for the topic, okay? Now, okay, thank you for telling me and explaining. I think that's very nice. Okay, now, Alex, you typed in something just now because I think you didn't see very clearly what I was pointing to, right? Because earlier I was pointing to the vacuole. Okay, but you gave me another term, which is called cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is actually over here, all right, where I am pointing to no specific structure inside. Okay, yeah, so this is the cytoplasm. The last one here, it is not labeled. Nikki, would you know what is that? Okay, inside the nucleus, there are some things, thread-like things, these lines here. Very good. So these are the chromosomes. What do you think the chromosomes is for? Anyone? Or Nikki, you want to try? What do you think the chromosomes are for? Are they important to us? Yes, very good, Yan Hui. Yeah, passing down genes to offspring. Yeah, good. So it contains all the genetic information. We can also call it the DNA, right? Yeah, thank you so much. Now for the plant, I'm going to change to green. Can you tell me the different structure on the outer layer? Just now I said cell wall already. Okay, and then I did also mention right after the cell wall, we have the cell membrane, correct? Okay, I also informed you when I was drawing, this is known as the nucleus. So inside the nucleus should be the same thing. So this must be the chromosomes, okay? So inside all nucleus, right, you need to know that, okay, there are chromosomes. Now, I'm going to ask you to tell me, all right, what is this? And what is this? Okay? So this part here stays the same. You all know that this is cytoplasm. Can you tell me what is this small little dot here? What are the small little dots here? I'm pointing to one of it. Okay. Yes, very good. So you are right. Madev, Yan Hui, Serena, good job there. Okay, so these are the chloroplasts. Maybe I can write this way. Chloroplasts. Okay, and then the big piece there, right in the center. Okay, you learn as well, right? Oh no, not everybody. Some of you learned. Okay, some of you learned this is the large vacuole of the plant cell. So yep, we have already labeled what we need to know. Of course, there are also this, but there is also this particular thing that you call as mitochondria, right? Remember or not? So mitochondria, are they important? Some schools ask students to memorize in the structure and even memorize the function. Some schools say no need. Okay, so by right, you are not required to. But since I have seen also in the exam, maybe I can just indicate for you all. So if you see things like this, the mitochondria, what is, oh, okay, you need to study that also. Oh, I see. Can, no problem. You already know, right? Wonderful. Okay, so do you still recall how or what kind of shape the mitochondria actually take? What kind of shape? Just vacuole is fine. But when you write down differences, right, you can say that plant cell has one large vacuole and animal cells has many tiny vacuoles. Okay, Mother? Yeah. Okay, so where do you think I will put the mitochondria? Anyone? You all know? Anyone want to try? So they actually look like something like that. Oops. Something like that. This kind of shape. Right? Rod-like shape. Do you also recall? Rod-like. Nikki, that's very funny. Not exactly, but rod-like. Okay, this is the term they use. Okay, so this is the mitochondrion. Mitochondrion is singular. Okay, I know, Nikki, your school wants you to do mitochondrion, right? Yes or not? Yeah, so you have to. Clear? Okay. Then how about for the plant cell? How about the plant cell? Where do you draw it? Do you draw it inside here? No, right? Very good. So for the plant cell, same thing lah. It's still also at the cytoplasm. Okay, so you can do this way. All right. So in the notes, yeah, I think I should have already given you the notes. I've given you the notes for cells, right? The many page notes. Yeah. Okay, if y'all don't have, let me know. All right, so let's come to question 1. The diagram shows unicellular. What is unicellular? That means one cell organism, okay, found in fresh water. So which part actually shows that it is plant-like? Now, from a typical animal and typical plant cell, you know the differences between them, isn't it? Okay, so the differences between them is very obvious. Okay, I will say that it is the presence of the cell wall, chloroplast, correct? So presence of cell wall and chloroplast for the plant cell differentiates it from the animal cell. What about the another difference that you can see? Another difference will be it has got one large vacuole, right? Okay, compared to plant animal cells actually has got animal cell has small, numerous vacuoles. Okay, so this is another difference that you can actually talk about. All right. Any questions so far? No, right? So if you're talking about differences, there are actually 3 you can point out now. So in this case, you look at the diagram here. Now, A, what is this thing? Flagellum. Then B is cytoplasm, C is chloroplast, D is nucleus.